All right, it's about time I got started on this. I'm working on my uncle's tractor. This is Salvage. I think I have told the story about it. But anyway, he has passed. My first cousin, his son, started building it. He took it over. They both passed. It now belongs to my second cousin, the other brother. Anyway, belongs to a relative. Starter, well, it's a Volkswagen transaxle. Starter was a Volkswagen starter hooked to a gear that ran a shaft through here back to a belt, and the teeth didn't match, so both gears are chewed up. So I'm going to convert it to a starter generator. Maybe a dumb idea, but since it's got to run a belt anyway, I already pulled the alternator off, and obviously the starter and that mechanism that was right here. So I'm going to eliminate this bracket. I'm going to create a new one, put the starter generator here, run it. I have to get a longer belt, but we'll run it on this pulley to start it. And then I'll obviously have to do some wiring. But yeah, so this is Salvage, appropriately being worked on in the Stinger Salvage Garage. Here are the various parts I removed. This shaft, there was a gear on this end that meshed with the starter. It didn't mesh very well though, so it wore out. And then that ran the belt that also ran the alternator and everything. So I figured eliminate the alternator and starter. So I'm going to cut this off. I hate to do that from my uncle's or cousin's engineering, but we're going to grind these welds and these hinges off and refabricate a bracket so it lives on. All right, let the damage begin. I'm going to get a pad here. weld is broke back there, so we're going to have to re-weld that. This could go here. All right, I got the starter generator mounted. Made a bracket here, got my adjuster there, got a belt on it. I'm just doing the wiring now. I bought the starter generator and a voltage regulator, but I did not buy a starter solenoid, and I need one. I did borrow this one off of the Torino parts car back there, but this one doesn't seem to work. Surprise. So I'll need to pick up one of those, and then I think I can finish wiring this up. All right, we got her wired up. Did some test cranking, and I think everything's working, but the gas has gone bad, so I'm draining that out. If I poured gas in the carburetor, it would run. So I took the top off the carburetor, soaked up all the gas that was in there, poured a little fresh gas in the carb, and it ran off the carb. So I'm draining out the tank now, and we'll put some fresh gas in there. It's still quite a bit full. Not full, but there's still quite a bit in there. So we'll get all that old stuff out, and then we'll test everything else out. All right, pardon the noise, but I eliminated all of this stuff here. Drained out the bad gas. I let it run for a while on my gasoline IV, and the fuel pump started working. I thought it had a bad fuel pump, but it's running off the fuel pump now. So we got fresh gas in the tank, running off the fuel pump. Starter generator's working. I took her for a little drive. I am way too tall to reach this clutch pedal, but yeah, it lives. Well, you're not supposed to have leftover parts, but I eliminated the Volkswagen starter. It had not meshed properly to the gear that was on this shaft, which I've got somewhere. I'll go find it. The starter ran this shaft, which turned the pulley. The starter was mounted on this bracket with this nice guard around it, and this was an adjuster for the alternator. This is some hardware. But anyway, eliminated all that stuff. I wish we had smell-o-vision. That stuff really reeks. I did put this guard back on. It's not exactly right, but flushed the tank. Fuel pump started working after I let it run for a while. Charged the battery up real good, so I think she's ready to go back home where it belongs, in Illinois with my nephew. So thanks for watching. If you haven't heard the story on this one, there is a video on when I first brought it down to Kentucky. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more shenanigans. All right, fuel pump is just not pumping enough fuel. This is the fuel pump right here. I changed the filter. I thought maybe the old one, which looked pretty bad, might have been clogged, and it might have been, but fuel pump is still not pumping enough. If I crank it over, it'll run off the fuel in the car, but it's not pulling anything from the tank. And this is open. I flushed the lines with air. filled this with gas, so fresh gas. So I think the fuel pump's bad. Well, I thought I had concluded this video. Well, I guess I'll still conclude it, but it is going to need a fuel pump. I've been doing some exhaustive research. This is discontinued. Can no longer get it rebuilt or new. Best I can tell, this is a CCK or CKK, no, CCK Onan. It's about a 10-horse motor, built in the 60s or 70s, probably to run a generator for a camper, RV. So it was like an industrial motor. Good little motor, runs good, but it's just old enough that this guy is going to be hard to find. We'll come up with a solution for that. Battery gave up the ghost, so I swapped in one from my Mustang, but it'll crank fine. It'll run if I pour a little gas into the carburetor. And like I said the other day, I had the IV gas bottle running and it ran good. It started pumping a little bit and I thought the pump came back to life, but it finally quit. Difficult to see, but if you look at this diaphragm in here, it looks pretty toast. So probably just from age and sitting, especially that gas with ethanol in it. That's really bad stuff. So okay, I don't know what that was, but anyway, we'll probably come up with a solution, but I'm going to end this video now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Maybe when we take it back up to Illinois, we'll do some videoing. But anyway, this concludes the Stinger video for now.